Hello everyone, I'm Jacob Kaufman, I'm the nerd on the street, and today we are unboxing a DXRacer RV001 NB chair. Alright guys, so I got my current office chair that I've been using way back in 2014, and at the time it was a big upgrade for me. You guys have seen it in a ton of my videos and it's done a great job, but it did spend about a year in a garage when I went off to college, and it hasn't been quite the same since then. The padding is worn out, the material's falling off, and it's creaking on top of that, which is annoying for videos. So I knew it was time for a new chair. Now, DXRacer is a company that makes racing chairs, which are typically for gaming. And I've talked before about how I'm not a big gamer. However, I end up purchasing a lot of gaming items. My laptop is technically a gaming laptop because gamers like powerful computers, and so do I, for different reasons. And it's sort of the same thing with the chair. This is a gaming chair. I'm not a gamer. However, gamers spend long periods of time in their chairs, and so do I, because I use my computer a lot making videos and, messing with technology. So I did look at a wide variety of types of chairs, professional office chairs and whatnot. But for the price, I decided to try out a gaming chair. DXRacer is one of the more popular brands for that. Is this going to be a good deal, or is it going to be just a marketing scam? Time will tell. But for now, this is the RV001, like I said, and the NB at the end of the model stands for the black and blue model. It is not much to show here. It's taped up on all sides, so we're going to go ahead and break this thing open. So we'll start by cutting the tape off the top of it. We'll get the sides here. And it actually says not to cut on the top, but, I don't know how else we're supposed to get the thing open, so we're going to carefully cut. Just making a few small incisions here. There we go. Okay. And we've got the top of the box open. Nice. So we'll pull open all four sides here. And here's what we're going to get with this chair. We've got a very thin layer of styrofoam on the top, which we will discard. Here is the back of the chair, right on top. Oh, and that feels very solid. It's almost stuck between the armrests. I can't pick it up right now. I think our best bet might be to get this entire thing out of the box. So actually what I'll do is I'll tip the box over on its side and then see if we can't get kind of a controlled falling out of the box here. All right. So we'll slide this back so it doesn't go straight into our tripod. And basically everything in the box is coming out here. Okay, so things are starting to come apart. Now I can get the back of the chair off. There we go. The chair came with a couple of pillows here. There's a lumbar support pillow, which is on top, and then that smaller one is a neck pillow. Those strap onto the chair, and I'll show you those later. Now that that's done, we can tilt this box maybe back the way it's supposed to go. So we'll pull out some more styrofoam here. You can see we've got the base of the chair right here. 5-point base. This thing is metal. The base of my previous chair looked similar, but it was plastic. So this is inside plastic and some bubble wrap. We'll set that off to the side. Another layer is styrofoam. And here is the part of the chair that we sit on. Not sure how well you can see it yet, but there's a nice carbon fiber texture to the bottom. So we'll set that down as well. And aside from some styrofoam outlines here in the box, there are just two more small boxes in here to look at. Here's number one right here. So we'll see what's inside there. If we cut that open, they definitely went heavy on the tape. Alright, so here we've got instructions for putting the thing together, which I will need in a moment. We've also got an Allen key for assembly, and a few extra screws in the back, but most of the screws we're going to be using are already pre-installed in the thing. We've got some colored inlays into the base that we'll put in, just kind of blue accents. I think those are plastic. We've got some black plastic pieces that will pop on over some screws on the sides of the chair in a bit. We've got a telescoping cover that will go over the base of the chair, and you'll see all of this being put together in a moment. This looks like one of the adjusters for the chair, like to lean it back and stuff, that will pop into it. Here, I think, is part of the chair's stand. It's got a part number written on it. We'll set that down, and we've got our 5 3-inch casters in here. as well. The casters on my old chair were also starting to wear out, so when I tried to roll it around, it would just kind of scooch on the floor like it didn't have wheels. So this will be nice, having some nice casters that are about an inch larger than my old ones too, that will hopefully last a bit longer. And we do have one more adjuster as well. Aside from that, everything in this box is just the rest of those casters. So we'll set that back down. And finally, we will open up our last box here, which, if I pull it out here so you can see it, this final box is kind of crushed in on some of the corners, but it was seated very well in the styrofoam, as you just saw there when I tried to pick it up. And this would be the rest of the chair's base, or stand, I think, if we open this up. So yeah, this is the part that the base of the chair will actually sit on, I think. And this will connect the base of the chair to the seat of the chair to the base that sits on the ground. So it looks like we have several different, okay, so one of these instruction manuals is actually just for how to adjust the chair once it's put together. So we'll refer to that later. No, this is for assembly, actually. It looks like we've got a separate instruction manual for the top of the chair versus the base of the chair. We've got 3 different manuals on how to put this thing together. Okay, one of them is not in English, so I think we can discard that one for now, unless we find out that it's not replicated. Man, okay. Yeah, we've got one paper showing us how to really just popping the plastic accents into the base of the chair. That's all that's on this paper. And then this one skips to once you already have the base put together, and it's just popping the chair on top of it. And then this is that 3rd manual that's not in English. So none of them show how to put the base of the chair together. The box specifically said to read the instructions before you started, and I've just done that. So I guess at this point we can start. All right, so we'll start at the bottom and work our way up here. So here is that piece that will sit on the floor. If we tilt our camera down a little bit more here, zoom that in a bit. My apartment is still a mess, guys. I'm still putting it together. We're out here in the living room for this video because it's got a little bit more space. And because it's a bit early, and I think my neighbor downstairs is probably still sleeping. So here we can get that metal base out of the bubble wrap, and bubble wrap's just falling off of it there. All right, so there's that. I'm going to turn it upside down for a moment because I'm going to try and put the casters in, I guess. So if I grab one of our wheels, can I just pop it in? Is it that easy? I think that was it. I just slid it in. I didn't really feel a pop or anything, but it's in there, so we'll call that good for the caster, and I'll grab the other 4. And we'll just put all of those in here. Oh, they're all in the same bag. That's interesting. I thought they were in individual bags. So we'll, that one felt better. I think that is all we're supposed to do for those. Number 4. There. And number 5. Alright, so now that all those are in, we'll put this thing over. Wait. Okay, and that's rolling around nicely. Those are definitely in the way they're supposed to be. So that's alright, so next we need to figure out what goes on top of that. And once again, I'll look at our instructions here, but really nothing jumping out, just the stuff about well, it's telling me to put the plastic inlays in, so I guess I can do that now. Oh, okay, so I was trying to read, I guess, from top to bottom, but what I just did is covered here in this instruction manual. So we did that. At this point, we are going to put the plastic inlays in, and then we'll put the base on like it's telling us to do there. So here we have our inlays, and I would adjust the camera so that you can see this a little better, but I'd have to zoom it right back out in a moment when we start putting the top of the chair on, so I'll just leave it. So like I said, these are just little plastic strips. They're blue. They make it look a little cooler since it is a gaming chair, and I don't. So I think we'll put in which side of this goes in first. We put in the top of it, then we squeeze in the bottom and then. Okay, that's nice and easy. So you can see now we've got one of those strips installed, and we'll do the other 4. So one thing I was concerned about when I was looking for a chair, I didn't want one that was too small because obviously that's no good. But I also didn't want a chair that was too big. And there were some more professional looking office chairs that DXRacer actually sold. This was from their gaming, their signature, I said, but they actually do sell some just regular office chairs. And I mentioned that my current chair that I use was sitting in a garage for a year. The second half of that year, I was actually using another office chair that I was borrowing from somebody. And that chair was too big for me, and I absolutely hated it. Anytime I was sitting in it, I just felt like I was swimming in the air. Because unlike some gamers, I am definitely thin. So this one was sized medium on their website. They had small chairs, medium chairs, and large chairs. I actually looked at some of the small ones, but once again, I didn't want a tiny chair either. So hopefully this will be a good mix. We'll see here. So I've got all of those colored inlays in here. It's looking nice and cool. So next up we can find the stick that goes in here, which I think is this one, and here's that telescoping plastic. So we'll take this out of the bag. So we're going to put the telescoping plastic over this here with the skinny part of the middle piece on top so it sticks through the plastic there. And then we'll just set the bottom of that into the chair. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I guess none of that really needs to be screwed in, unless you're going to turn your chair upside down. That's not going to fall out. And I am starting to get some grease or something on me from touching the top of this piece, so I'm going to stop touching that now, because that grease is probably supposed to help the chair turn better. So next up, we'll assemble the rest of the chair, and then we'll set it on here in a bit. So over here, we've got the seat. Here, I am going to adjust the camera. Actually, I lied earlier. Don't know how well all this is going to show up on camera, but I think we're well lit in here at least. So we'll start taking plastic off of here. It looks like the first thing we're going to have to do in a moment is attach the back to the seat. Before we do that, I'm going to grab my knife again because this tape is being difficult. There we go. So feeling the bottom of this chair, like I said, it's got this sort of carbon fiber look, similar to Kevlar but a little bit softer in terms of look. I was torn between this and something more fabric-y. This will be easier to clean than fabric. When I asked for my current chair, I got my current chair as a birthday present years ago, and I asked specifically for a chair that was not leather. And I was given a chair that was fake leather, so I guess that wasn't leather. But I wanted more of a fabric-y one years ago, but I've gotten used to what I've got now. So I think I'll be okay with this, or more than okay. Yeah, we'll see how it feels when I sit on it in a bit. For now, let's get the back attached up here like the instructions are telling us to do. So here's the back, and we'll turn that upside down for a minute. We've got another piece of tape that I'll just cut instead of trying to wrestle with being careful not to cut the chair. I'm gonna have to break out a scissors here. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now the back of the chair is open. We will slide this plastic down off of it. I really do like the blue. It's a nice vibrant blue. If this was going in an actual like public office, then I might not want it this flashy, but since it's just my home office, it'll be perfectly fine. And I don't think a splash of color will be bad for the videos in any way. On the bottom of this chair, I can see, or on the bottom of the back, I can see some staples or something in here holding the bottom of the chair together. There is a zipper as well that goes around the rest of the back. But the very bottom here is held on by some metal pieces, but we won't see that because this will be pointing toward the floor. And that is, of course, on the back of the chair. That's not where we're going to be touching at all. So I heard some people online comparing these chairs to car seats. And I have to admit, the material actually does feel similar to a car seat. One of those fake leather car seats. So that does, of course, mean it will hold up well for a long period of time. And I'll get some closer up shots of the material once it's all put together. But we do need to set the chair up. You can see there are some screws on the side there that are already inserted where they're supposed to screw in. We're going to use that Allen key to tighten them up. But first we have to line them up with the holes on the base here. So we'll try and do that. And I have no idea how tricky this is going to be. Okay, I think we actually need to unscrew these screws first. Then we put the chair in place. Then we put the screws back on over it. I think that's what's supposed to happen. Oh, well. I just lost a washer or something into the middle of the chair. So that's great. Can I unzip this to look for that? Or is there even a Yeah, there's like a zipper here, but it doesn't open up. Yeah, I can hear the washer that I dropped in there. All that I did was unscrew this screw, and there was a washer on the inside of the screw, and the washer just immediately fell through some hole and into the middle of the chair, and I can hear it moving around when I move the chair around. This thing's not even put together yet. I don't want to be losing parts, but so far I have to say this installation was not well thought out on DXRacer's part. I would have preferred they not put the screws in if things are going to be falling apart while we're trying to put the thing together. Alright, well there actually are spare washers in the bag of spare parts we got, so I've taken this into another room for a second, shaking it around, and I can hear the washer in there, but I do not see myself getting it back out. So yeah, so far I give it a 0 out of 10 in terms of assembly, because that was just stupid, design-wise. For these other 4 screws, I'll be really careful to sit here and tightly hold the washer while I'm unscrewing, because apparently that's what it takes. Alright, so I actually lost 2 pieces, because this is that same screw on the other side, so there's a washer and another metal piece. And we'll set those down there. I'll look in my bag and see if I have any more of those. Why would they even pre-install the screws if you have to unscrew them anyway? That's what doesn't make sense to me, but there's no way that we could slide this over without unscrewing. Is there? I mean, no, we've got to unscrew these, so once again, being really, really careful to hold those while I'm unscrewing. And we do have an extra one of those other metal pieces too, so I'll take that out. Yeah, if the zipper on the back of the chair actually unzipped, then maybe I could get in there and get the piece that I dropped. But yeah, I see this zipper seam around here, but I don't see an actual zipper anywhere. No. See, I don't want to pull the chair apart trying to find it. Alright, well, we'll forget about that. Maybe one day it will just fall out of the chair and I'll have that extra screw again. But for now, we will fit the back over the seat and we will screw these in again. Now first I'm going to get all of them placed in the right position and then I'll go back and tighten them all. So I've got one of them in place here. There goes the other one. Okay, so here's the back of the chair connected to the seat. You can see it's fully tilted forward right now since we're just putting it together, but that will be adjusted later. I'm going to come around to the other side and get those 2 screws. Okay, so all 4 of those screws have started going in nicely, and at this point I will go back around with the Allen keys and just tighten them all up. Boy, the thing is solid. I'll give it that. I didn't want a chair that was going to feel like it's falling apart while you're sitting in it, and this thing certainly won't. I can tell that much. So I am curious, did they give us 2 Allen keys that were the same size? Or are these? No, those are 2 separate sizes. Okay. Alright, so we'll just finish up attaching the back to the seat here. Alright, and all 4 of those screws are pretty solidly in there. We don't want to break anything, so we will leave it at that. And next up, we need to lean this thing back a little bit to get it off the armrests here. There's a lever down here. If I hold that lever down, there we go. Alright, so I can hold this lever down and lean back to recline, sort of like a car seat. And now we can put those plastic pieces over the metal on the sides that we just dealt with. Where did those go? Here they are. So they just pop on like this. This is where we just screwed those in, and we want to hide those screws. So we will... How does this work? Do we pull off the plastic that's already on here, on the reclining piece, to get this in? Oh, is it this? Okay, so these 2 plastic pieces are not the same size. Since there's only a reclining lever on one side, this is the piece we have to use for the reclining lever. You can see there's that piece that sticks out the bottom a bit further that's not present on the other one. So let me just put that reclining box's mechanism back together. I really just don't know what they were thinking with these instructions. They basically didn't give instructions. They just want you to guess how to put the thing together based on a couple of pictures. Alright, I think that's as back together as that's going to go. So we'll pop in this plastic now. And there is a tiny little screw hole on the inside of these plastic pieces. I don't know if we're supposed to use that or not, because the instructions obviously don't say anything. They literally have no words. It's just pictures. In fact, the instructions pictures don't even have a hole here where there is a hole in the plastic. So really left in the dark here. Once again, 0 out of 10 for instructions, DXRacer. I would not recommend this brand to anybody who does not like guessing how to put their products together. We'll pop on the other side here at least. Yeah, there's really nothing holding this plastic in place is my problem with it. It's just kind of there. And especially on this side, I mean, this is just going to fall off. It's not, it doesn't attach in any way. So I feel like we need the screw hole, and there are some screws in this bag. All right, let's try this. We're going to try using the smaller screws that came in the bag, and we'll screw those in, or we'll see if they'll screw in to these holes here. No, yeah, I think that should do it. If we can get that to screw in. Alright, that screw's holding. So we'll continue screwing it in. Yeah, I just can't believe there's absolutely no instructions. They pre-installed most of the screws, but then there are a couple of screws like this one that weren't pre-installed, so you have no idea what is an extra in the bag and what is supposed to go in. Like right now I have no idea what's going on, because this... even the right Allen key? Is this... oh, no, that one works a lot better. Okay. Alright. Thing together. I sure hope we're almost done here. So after we put that screw into place, we just screwed in plastic cover to cover the screw holes, and now we've got another smaller plastic cover to screw the cover. And there are two of these, so let me make sure that they're the same, because we now know that nothing's marked when it's not symmetrical. These have the exact same part number. One of them says 1 and one says 3 though, so I don't know what that's supposed to mean. One that says 1 here on the left side. And yeah, this middle screw that I just put in isn't even in the pictures on the instructions. I can tell which direction this is supposed to go based on the little plastic nubs though. So we will stick that in, okay. And this side of the chair is looking great at this point. So we will turn this thing around, and we will do that on the other side too. I hope this thing's comfortable, because I'm going to be sitting down for a while after this is all done. It's turned into quite an ordeal. Okay, so we'll screw in the small screw on this side now to keep the cover in place. And we'll put this plastic cover on finally. Okay. Alright, so we almost tore apart our gearbox for reclining for no reason. Once again due to the lack of instruction, but at this point I think everything is still together the way it's supposed to go, and we've got our plastic covers on both sides of the chair. So now all that's left to do is to put the main hinge of the chair onto the bottom of this seat and then set it onto the stand over there. So if we had this much trouble up to this point, I cannot imagine what I have coming for myself here in the next few seconds. I hope my audio is still recording, because that's going all the way to another room and I can't see it right now. But we are going to turn this chair on its side to do this next part. Alright, so as you can see, there are a ton of screws and bolts and things on the bottom of this, and Lord knows what I'm supposed to put together here and what I'm not, what I'm supposed to screw in and what I'm not. We already used up our one spare washer, so I'll try not to lose any more of those. But here's the main hinge of this chair. This chair is very adjustable. We'll see all the different ways it can adjust once it's put together. But basically, this needs to attach to the base of the chair, and then we set this, I think, onto the part that goes on the floor. But this attaches to the seat. There are 4 screw holes here, and there are 4 screw holes on the outside and 4 here, 4 screws it looks like on the inside. Let's line this up and see what's here. So according to the picture, that is all we have to go on. This large piece here should be toward the front of the chair, which is this side. So this is supposed to go on this way. So I guess we are supposed to screw those in or out and then screw them in on top of the base, and we're supposed to not touch the other 8 screws that are exposed. Doing an awful lot of guesswork because, once again, no instructions. You know, if they gave us absolutely no instructions, then I would think maybe, oh, they left something out of the box. But it's not like they didn't give us anything. You know, they gave us 3 separate instruction booklets, all individually printed and packed. And they managed to give us so little information in those 3 separate booklets, it's almost comical. If the chair is comfortable, then this will all be worth it. So we're unscrewing all these screws and taking the washers off with them. And doing this by myself is going to be a little bit tricky, but I think we can manage. Nope. I feel like it would have made more sense if they shipped the chair fully put together than having to go through this convoluted of a setup process. Okay, so the nub should be in the front, which is farthest away from the back. This is the back, so it goes on this way, and this is where the screw goes. Okay, I was close that time. My neighbor's downstairs. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and they're just hearing all of this crap rolling around. Once again, that's why I'm in my living room and not the bedroom, at least. So the nub goes in the front, which is farthest away from the back. Okay, I'm using one hand to hold the base and the other hand for the screw. Okay, there we go. That seems to be the winning strategy. You got to separate out one hand for the base, the other hand for the screw. Now we can screw that screw in, and let's get all 4 of these in once again, and then we'll tighten them all up. And these screw holes aren't perfectly fitted on the base. You can see I'm sort of sliding this entire thing up and down, because these are sort of oval-shaped holes in the piece that I'm putting on here. Once it's all tightened up, it'll be good, but kind of leaving me wondering where it's supposed to go right now. Guess I'll just try and center them. Well, that's not centered, that's just all the way to one side, because this is tilted on the angle that this chair is set. That's the wrong Allen key. We'll grab this one. Maybe this chair was just designed for gamers to put together, and that's why I'm having such a hard time. This is probably like some sequence that was in some really popular video game, how to put together a chair, that I am just unaware of. I'm sure that's it. Alright, all of those are snugly screwed in. So at this point, apparently, according to the pictures, which is once again the only instruction we have, that's it. And now we just have to set this onto the base of the chair. So let's make an attempt here. If this attempt fails, it won't be the first failed attempt of anything today. Alright, so let's at least flip this up so it's not sitting on its armrest anymore. And we'll kind of roll our base over here. We'll pick... That is heavy. Okay. There's no way I can set this chair on top of the base without seeing it, because I can't see what I'm doing. So instead I'm going to set the chair down and I'll set the base into place. Alright, here's our moment of truth. If I can get this thing to stand up, then we'll be pretty much done. There's actually a couple more pieces that I see that need to go on, but... Alright. So boy was that an ordeal. At this point, the last pieces that I need to add are these little paddles which attach to the pieces on the bottom here that adjust things. And are these the same? These look exactly the same. So I'm just going to put one on one side here and one on the other. Hey, look at that. Cool, so this thing is all put together at this point. I think we're done. It does roll much smoother than my current chair, so that's great. Obviously brand new wheels. Okay, and it feels much better when it's at full height too. I think this is taller than my current chair. I know I'm stretching the limits of my camera's frame right now. Let me just get everything out of the way here and back myself into the corner. Okay, so this is a much taller back on the chair than my old chair had. Oh, that is nice. Yeah, I do like that this chair goes all the way up to your head, basically. So when you're sitting there, you can have your head up, but you can lean back. And we'll put the pillows on here in a moment, but first I wanted to see what it was like without them. In terms of cushioning, I mean, it's definitely not super cushy. It's not I wouldn't call it a soft chair, but it's certainly not hard either. It's not like I can feel metal or anything. Similar to a car chair, probably a little harder than my car's chairs. See if I can adjust these armrests and bring them up a little bit here. So we can adjust the armrests front to back. We can adjust them in and out. I'm seeing how can I adjust them up and down. There we go. Okay. Oh, that's cool. All right, so we can put the armrests basically wherever we want them to. So what other adjustability does this chair have? We've got our reclining here, obviously. Oh, that's nice and easy to use now that we're sitting in it. And the chair can actually go back a ridiculous amount. I did watch some videos of these DXRacer chairs before I decided to order this thing. And one thing that everyone always does is they put them all the way down. That's actually that's not 180 degrees, but there's no reason you would ever want a computer chair to go back that far. All the way forward here is obviously too far forward, but where I had it before was pretty ideal, if I can find that again. All right. And my microphone here is like hitting the back of the chair when I'm leaning my head back, but yeah, that's all good. And then the other adjustability we have, on one side we've got the height adjustment, so it goes down this far, which is a little short for me, and then it goes all the way up to, I think I'll usually probably keep the maximum height. It actually, yeah, it goes down a little bit from the maximum height when I sit in it, which I'm used to. I think that's a normal thing for chairs. My current chair does that. I don't remember if my current chair has always done that or if it was only after it wore out. I wouldn't have expected this one to do it. You can hear and see it just pop up an inch when I stand up, and when I sit down it just pops down an inch or so. The other side of the chair is also adjustable, and that would be, I think, the rocking. Oh, it doesn't feel like that adjuster does anything. These chairs are supposed to sort of rock as well, where the entire chair, including the base, kind of moves back a little bit. Once again, that's not something I would use on a regular basis. It's more for people who are like sleeping at their computers playing video games. I can hear this adjuster on the left side doing something underneath the chair, but I can't tell what it is. So maybe I'll figure that out eventually. The very last thing we'll do is put the pillows on and we'll see how those work. And after that we will end this video because it's gotten quite long already. So like I said, there are two pillows we can kind of slide on here. One of them is sort of a neck pillow and it goes over the top of the chair here. And then the other one is a lumbar support pillow and it straps onto the bottom of the chair here. I think it's actually supposed to go up here and through the holes at the top of the chair. And I'm not going to bother getting this all perfectly set up because, like I said, I probably won't use these all the time. But this is what the chair looks like with those pillows on it. And if we sit in it now... Okay, yeah, see, that's basically what I heard in review on that pillow. It's nice. It would keep me sitting up straight if I didn't want to use the back of the chair. But as it is, I'm sitting and my back is not touching the back of the chair. Because the lumbar pillow is a bit large. So maybe if you feel like you're slouching too much in this chair and you want a little bit of a break from that, but you want to stay sitting in your chair and working, you can throw the pillow on and try sitting up for a while with the lumbar pillow. And then the neck pillow, once again, also sort of interesting, also sort of nice. The combination of these two feels uncomfortable because I've got the lumbar pillow sticking my back out from the back of the chair, and then I've got a gap, and then I've got the neck pillow keeping my head pushed abnormally forward. So yeah, to start out with, I'll probably ditch these, but it is nice that they include them. They are part of the iconic nature of these chairs. So we'll just take them off for now, and this is my new office chair. I do like it. It does feel solid. The armrests maybe are a little less solid than my current chair because they're this free form design that can be adjusted in 4 different directions. They can go up and down, they can go in and out, they can go front to back, and they can also tilt to different angles like that. But of course that means they're going to wiggle around a little bit. I've gotten used to that. This is how the armrests at my work are. As opposed to my old chair, the armrests were attached to the back of the chair. But yeah, overall, definitely a solid chair, and that's what I was looking for, was something solid, something that would be comfortable and allow me to sit for long periods of time, but also would not encourage too much unhealthy posture. So hopefully this will work well. I'll be rolling it after I stop the camera into my office and using it from now on. So you'll see it in my videos, the little splash of blue there. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this product. Like I said, not for the faint of heart when it comes to putting it together. I don't know how that edit's going to turn out, but that was definitely an ordeal. And I do see now that the instructions included a QR code to watch a video, but DXRacer had some videos on their website explaining these chairs, and when I tried to watch some of them, none of them worked. All the videos on their website were broken, so I wouldn't necessarily bet on this QR code working either, although I didn't see it until after I'd put the chair together. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any other questions or comments. Leave them in the comments section below on YouTube, Dailymotion, or Nerd on the Street. But for now, that's all for this video. So I'm Jacob Kaufman, I'm the Nerd on the Street, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.